and let's talk New York City. You are inside Let's Talk New York City, the 15th broadcast in the Let's Talk series. My name is Brian Kollick. I'm your host, and I'm here with 25, 30 beautiful people, all from the lovely state of New York. All these people are from New York City. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you. Welcome. We're glad to have you. We're glad to have you. We want to also thank our friends at Adventist Union College for their participation in this, and we want to thank you, our viewer, for tuning in. We want you to be a part of this too. So what you need to do is you need to go to your website, look up letstalk.adventist.org, and be a part of this ongoing communication. Now, we're going to be talking about questions about life, faith, action, and we're going to be talking in dialogue with the Adventist Church World President, Jan Paulsen. Now, this is going to be unedited, unscripted, real, live, uncut, as real as it can get. Okay, are you ready? All right, well, with no further ado, let's introduce Pastor Jan Paulsen. Give him a hand.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Pastor Paulsen, how are you doing? You feeling good?
I'm feeling very good.
That's good. That's great.
And it's good to be here in New York. This is very different from anything we've done before, Brian, because we are here. Not only are we in a big city, I mean, an unusual city, but most of our other conversations have been on campuses of colleges and universities with university students. It's a different composition group we have here, and I really look forward to this conversation.
That's great. Now, we've already talked about this fact that there's normally a campus center that we've done it on, but now we're in an urban city. Why is the urban city so important to the Adventist Church?
Well, you know, people are flocking to the cities. 100 years ago, there were, we are told, 12 cities of 1 million or more globally.
Okay.
Today, there are 400 cities of 1 million or more globally.
Wow.
Half of the world's population live in big cities. And we have not, as a church, always been focused and strong on nurturing witness and outreach in the cities. Yeah. We've had most of our growth in the past in rural areas. And it's important. We have to be, Christ wants us to be where the people are. Right. I think it's important that we as a church be very, very focused on the work in the cities. And so therefore I value highly this opportunity to have a conversation with these younger Seventh-day Adventists from New York.
Great, great. Okay, well, with no further ado, let's talk.
Let's talk. Let's do it.
Who's got our first question? Okay, let's start right here in the corner.
Hey, Pastor Paulsen. My name is Derek Cruz. Welcome back to New York, by the way.
Thank you.
I have an important question. It's a two-part question. Okay. The first one is, are you a Mets or Yankees fan? Very important now.
It's a very important question. I tell you what, I support Manchester United.
Good one. And the second part of this question is, I've seen the Let's Talk in the past, the other shows that you guys had, and it's been great. I loved your responses. I think you're a cool guy. I never met you, and, we never hung out, but, seeing you on TV and so on and so forth, I think you're a real nice guy. And my question is that, your responses is not the same towards, it's not the same with other presidents and other divisions in another conference. For example, you talked about music. And you said, for example, that the drums were okay, unless it depends how it was used. But other presidents in other areas who work under you say differently. Now, what I want to know, how is the GC helping that out so that everybody could be on the same page? Okay. Because it hurts us, the local church member.
Okay, I understand. You have to keep in mind that church leaders, local presidents, they work in one local area. They're generally addressing one culture. Although I appreciate in this city, you have many cultures that are brought in. I am able to relate to a global community with a huge variety. I mean, so much of the music is culturally flavored. And I just came back last weekend from Dominican Republic. We had a wonderful Sabbath, absolutely unbelievable festival of faith in the city of Santo Domingo. But the rhythmic music was with us for hours. It's part of the culture. And I think that, you know, we all have to be natural where we are. What I think is important in music is to recognize that music must be an expression of something that can bind us together as a Christian community, that it is an instrument for sharing our faith and our community, that it is an instrument of praise to God and an instrument for witness. Music as a Christian community must serve that function. And to do that, there are many, many varieties. I do also believe that there is some music that has no place in the Christian community.
Comment on that. I just mentioned music. I'm just talking theology in general. For example, you know, you say, you know, one thing, and then a president or a pastor say another thing. Now, I mean, what I was just wanted to ask you was, what is the conference doing so that the people who work under you just stay at least on the same page? I understand that, you know, there's different cultures, and
yes.
I respect that, of course. But I'm just saying, like, what is being done so that, you know, the pastors who work under you, presidents, you know, from different divisions are on the same page in our theology?
Right. Okay. So about uniformity, how can we work towards uniformity?
Okay. You have to keep in mind that the church is not a military organization, and the statements and comments, observations that church leaders, pastors, and elected church leaders make have not been screened in advance. But we hold to the same set of faith, the same set of doctrine. We value the same things. But a president in one particular area, and I come back to what I said earlier, will often address a particular local situation and will choose the language which is appropriate to that. I can speak to a much larger global community setting and will, from that perspective, choose to use different terminology to express my conviction.
Great. All right. One more question? Another question.
Hi, Pastor Paulsen. My name is Lasanta Davmoni from Atlantic Union. And my question kind of goes on the same topic about the different cultures. And my question is, how come there are so many conferences under the Atlantic Union? There's a Northern Union, I mean the Northeastern Conference, there's a Southeastern Conference, there's a New York Conference, there's a Greater New York Conference, and it seems to cover the same territory. And I've heard that it used to be because of different races, but now there is a mix of races. It's not just white, it's not black, it's a mix of Dominican, Puerto Rican, Caucasian, whatnot. So is there a way to unify the conferences to make them under like one conference or?
Well, you know, the church is a very, very diverse community. You're right. There are a lot of different cultures in one geographical area here in North America. When you talk about the different conferences, so-called regional conferences that we have in many parts here in North America, they have a history to it. There was a very good reason in history for why they were started. And they have served a very good function up through the decades since they were started some 65 years ago. And they've served a good function. From time to time, I have opportunity to dialogue also with leaders from the regional conference community. And we have some good conversations with them. They have a deep, strong passion for the life of the church that they have responsibility for. So there is not a sense of a competition. There's not a sense of alienation or hostility between them. They're doing their very best to serve also a mixed culture, also quite a mix in their congregation. What the future holds, look, the Lord is in charge of the future for this church. And I hope and I expect, and I praise the Lord when I see this, that even where you have mixtures of administrations working close in on each other and at times overlapping, I praise the Lord that the church spiritually and as a global family can stay united and move forward and be a witness for God.